Quotes about dictatorship. 1. The difference between a democracy and a dictatorship is that in a democracy you vote first and take orders later, in a dictatorship you don't have to waste your time voting. Charles Bukowski. 2. Dictators are not in the business of allowing elections that could remove them from their thrones. Gene Sharp. 3. Power is not a means, it is an end. One does not establish a dictatorship in order to safeguard a revolution, one makes the revolution in order to establish the dictatorship. George Orwell. 4. Withholding information is the essence of tyranny. Control of the flow of information is the tool of the dictatorship. Bruce Coville. 5. Dictatorships start wars because they need external enemies to exert internal control over their own people. Richard Pearl. 6. Time and time again does the pride of man influence his very own fall, he falsely begins trying to prove that unwarranted dominion by seizing the role of a condemner. Chris Jamie. 7. Often, the greater our ignorance about something, the greater our resistance to change. Mark Beckhoff, tagged under dictator/evil/ignorance. 8. True individual freedom cannot exist without economic security and independence. People who are hungry and out of a job are the stuff of which dictatorships are made. Franklin D. Roosevelt. 9. If you make the state responsible for everything, you shouldn't be surprised when you end up with a state that bears some resemblance to a dictatorship. 10. Dictatorship naturally arises out of democracy, and the most aggravated form of tyranny and slavery out of the most extreme liberty. Plato. 11. Withholding information is the essence of tyranny. Control of the flow of information is the tool of the dictatorship. Bruce Coville. 12. The dictator is merely the tip of the whole festering boil of social pus from which dictators emerge. Shoot one, and there'll be another one along in a minute. Terry Pratchett. 13. Dictators seem to learn from history much better than democrats. Garry Kasparov. 14. Man is not, by nature, deserving of all that he wants. When we think we are automatically entitled to something, that is when we start walking all over others. Chris Jamie. 15. It is a paradox that every dictator has climbed to power on the ladder of free speech. Immediately on attaining power, each dictator has suppressed all free speech except his own. Herbert Hoover. 16. In a dictatorship there is no choice. The elections are controlled, the police are the military, fear equals control, speech is suppressed, the economy is looted, the people are slaves. Alex Jones. 17. A dictatorship would be a heck of a lot easier, there's no question about it. George W. Bush. 18. Dictatorships are never as strong as they think they are, and people are never as weak as they think they are. Gene Sharp. 19. I have often thought, that if a rational fascist dictatorship were to exist, then it would choose the American system. Noam Chomsky. 20. The easiest way to establish a dictatorship, is to claim you are God's representative on earth. Christopher Hitchens. Thanks for listening. Ciao for now.